Hello everyone, this is Tony with TerraSky, and today we're going to cover how to create a Visualforce PDF in Salesforce using SkyVisualEditor. Now there are several reasons that you might want to create a PDF. Some of the ones that I've heard most commonly mentioned by our customers, my time as a Salesforce administrator and just other interactions with companies that use Salesforce, is that you either have a paper trail that you need to create for archival purposes, that you have some kind of receipt or quote that needs to be sent out that's reference only, or that you want to take a physical copy with you on site of some of your Salesforce data. Or maybe you just need to email it out or save it to your computer or something like that. There are a lot of reasons that you would want to save some of your Salesforce data as a PDF. Now, our little disclaimer for this entire process that we're about to go through is what I'm going to show you is not meant to be a substitute or replacement for other products that are on the App Exchange that are designed to do digital signature capturing on PDFs. We do have a signature component where somebody can draw with their finger and do a signature or some other diagram or drawing that they want, but it is not intended to replace all of the backend services and audit trails that those other applications provide. So this is meant to be more for a reference-only PDF, something like a sales quote or a receipt or some kind of document that's already gone through all of that process and now you just want a physical copy of it. That's what we're going to be covering how to do today. So let's get started. Go to File, click New. Now I'm going to be using a free layout. You really can use either the Salesforce layout or the free layout. This is just a personal preference here. So what we're going to be doing is just creating a very, very small snapshot of an account that you may have as a sales rep. So you may want to take this into like a quarterly business review or something of that nature where you've just got a quick snapshot of some of your key accounts that you're working with. So what I'm going to do first is make sure that all of the fields that are on the page are in display only. So a PDF, as you can probably imagine, will only accept fields that are output only text. So input only fields actually won't show up on a PDF, and therefore you'll have gaps in your PDF page if you do not properly set the field type. So on the upper left hand corner of SkyVisualEditor we have input, output, and label. I'm going to be using the output and label fields in today's example. So let's go ahead and add a couple of fields onto the page. Let's choose output. Let's start with label actually, and let's add on we'll do 4 fields, keep it nice and simple. So we just grab the account name, drag this onto the canvas, and then we'll go ahead and grab the account name for the output field here as well. So I'm just going to do a bit of vertical alignment so I can select these two and then click the align to top, and they're now going to be vertically aligned. This will save you a lot of time. Also, if you select a field on the right hand side, you'll notice that there is XY coordinates, so you can match the fields up in the different sections based on XY coordinates if you really want to be precise. Let's go ahead and add on maybe the account number. So we'll do the account number here as well, and then we shall do the account number for the actual text itself. And then again, I'm simply going to grab those 4 and align everything to be that same height. Now that I've done this, I'm going to add on an image. So I go to the component palette on the left, scroll down to the bottom, grab our static image, and place this onto the canvas. I'm going to browse our static resources for the TerraSky logo, and click OK. And now that I've done this, it'll make the logo appear in the appropriate location. I can drag that to the appropriate spot as needed, maybe move these over a little bit, and then drop those in place. The next thing that I want to do, and let's see here. Let's actually set that up so that this is aligned vertically here. So we'll go ahead and leave that here for now. This should be sufficient for today's example. The next thing that we want to do is add on a data table, just so we can show how this will work. So you can add on a data table with our component, drag that, drop that onto the canvas. I'm going to use an opportunity related list, and I'm going to unselect the user's ability to add information to it. On the right hand side, I'm also going to uncheck the row count. I don't want that. And now it's time to add fields to this particular component. So we go back to the Object tab, choose the Relative Object tab, select Opportunity from the drop-down menu, and now we can add our output fields. So I'm going to add on name, Next we'll add on, let's say, amount. And finally we can do, let's say, close date. So we'll go ahead and find our close date for this particular opportunity. And we should go ahead and move this into an appropriate location, maybe resize some of these fields. If you notice, there's a scroll bar that's been added, so I'll just increase the size. And there we go. That looks sufficient. Now if you notice, the text area where this data table is going to be represented is a fixed location and has a width and a height property to it. Now if you have data that's going to bypass the height, then it doesn't necessarily make sense to constrain it on a height axis, as it's going to cause vertical scrolling if it bypasses that height. So it's a way of keeping this really contained so you don't overlap your other fields on the page. But in my case, I don't have any, so I want the data inside of this table to continue to be displayed despite how long this list of opportunities might be. And the way that we do that is on the right hand side, you can simply uncheck height setting, and it's now going to set this up so that no matter how many fields are on here, until you get to paging, that is, then it's going to display that content inside of this section. So now that we have all these fields in the appropriate location, let's go ahead and deploy this into Salesforce. Click File, Deploy, choose the environment, and then send that off. Now this is going to create the PDF page and then send that into Salesforce. Now once it's deployed, go ahead and click Open. Now what I actually deployed was not a PDF version of it, it was simply a version of the page that we will turn into a PDF in just a moment. However, what this does represent is how this page will look once it's generated as a PDF very shortly. So as you can see, this is the data and the layout that we created. Now let's go ahead and do the final touch. So we go back to the Page tab on the right hand side. We simply expand the PDF section, click the Render as PDF button, choose your page size, I'll add it to letter, choose your margins, and then click Adjust Page Size. Now it's going to shrink the width down so that it can show you the actual dimensions of your PDF. Arrange your fields and components so that they fit nicely inside of this newly adjusted page size. Click File, Deploy, and send that back into Salesforce. Now once this is done, I'm simply going to go back to the other page and refresh this, and as you can see, it's now going to re-render this page as a PDF inside of Salesforce. Thanks for watching.